full screen mode. Alright, I like that right there because it's backwards, but you can read it. Alright guys, hi everybody. It's going to take a few minutes for the notifications to go out. In fact, I don't think I even turned my own off. Check this here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we're doing good. Alright, yeah. I installed a new app to manage my my iVideo.com battery bank Wi-Fi box. Yeah, so yeah, we're doing well. See, we're sponsored by iVideo. We appreciate their patience while I was sick. Kind of snuck out tonight. I'm usually not out on Friday night. I've been so sick. I went back to the doctor today again. Phoenix, my daughter, has a sore throat. So I took her to the doctor, the local clinic in my neighborhood, which is where I went. And he put my card in. We have, hey Laura, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. All right. We have, in Taiwan, we have these cards. And they look like this. You know, the National Healthcare card, right? And it's a smart card. There's a chip in there, right? So it has your history on it. And so like when I go there, they know what medicines I've been taking, and because, you know, I take medicine for my cardiac arrhythmia, you know, and it's important that other doctors know that. So anyway, excuse me, he looked at my computer and he said, wow, you've been sick a long time. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for this to be over. I've been sick for a month, guys. A month. Hardly streamed at all. I'm about ready to violate my sponsorship contract by not streaming enough. But iVideo has been very good to me, and so have you guys, because a number of you have ordered iVideo products, so it's keeping me in business too. Now, I don't make any money. I just get a Wi-Fi box. Now, tonight, I'm drinking my rum. I added some cinnamon to it and some soda water. Been taking it easy, haven't been drinking a whole lot, you know, and just trying to, been trying to get sleep. The biggest problem I've been having is getting sleep, and I was actually to the point where I was 40 hours sleep deficit, and the last time that happened, I went, couldn't even remember where I left my bike. It's pretty bad. Okay, well, I don't know what we can do about it, but welcome on YouTube. I got my Wi-Fi box out here in the open. One of the things that this Wi-Fi box does is not widely advertised. It is in the manual. You can get USB. I can't take melatonin because of depression. Melatonin is bad for me, but I appreciate it. Thank you. You can get USB internet is what I'm trying to say. It'll connect to the network to the USB. Now, tonight we've got steak, and it says New Pai Koei. Koei means hey Dean, how you doing? Koei means flavor, and this just means steak flavor, potato chips, steak flavored potato chips. And there's a picture of the steak, and the cool part about it is they got like peppercorns up here, see? And these look like, oh, you know what this is? Okay, I couldn't see it at first. This is like grilled garlic, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like take a clove of garlic and you cut it in half, you know, and put it on the grill. That's what that is. And these are grilled, well, I don't know if they're grilled or not, but they're purple onions. And this is, there's some more garlic cloves here, and there's some salt, some rock salt, or just, you know, granular salt. So it says it's got, where's the Chinese one? I can't read the ink. All the nutrition facts in English in all the Western countries is goofed up to the point where you can't even tell what you're eating. I look at products from the United States, and I just want to know, you know, how many grams of carbohydrates am I getting? And I can't figure it out because I don't know what the serving size is. In Taiwan, they do it by 100 grams, see? 100 grams. So when they list everything, and they list, for example, in Chinese it says sugar, 2.4. So you know it's 2.4%. And so carbohydrates is 49.9. So you know it's like 49.9% carbohydrates. It makes it really, really easy. Now that's way too many carbohydrates for me, but I'm treating myself too because I've been sick. I've been really good at not eating carbohydrates and sugars and avoiding them, but yeah, it has egg white, 7.6%, you know, and so yeah, it's a lot of salt in here though, but that's okay. Anyway, that's the deal. So, how's everybody doing? Let's have a swig of rum. I'm still in recovery mode. Listen, I really appreciate everybody joining. Thanks so much on Periscope and on YouTube. You see on YouTube and also D-Live. Welcome to everyone on D-Live, and we have comments working from Periscope, YouTube, and D-Live. D-Live will appear directly over the head, the top, but the comments for YouTube and Periscope are mixed in together, courtesy of Streamlabs. Now, this is amazing because these have the same. First of all, it's like another half bag, you know, and it's got the aluminum foil lining. It smells like every other bag of chips. This is really weird. I don't understand this. The chips, they always smell the same. Yep, it's the last one. So, okay, thanks, Ken. Thanks for the report. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming back, man. Ken, you've been doing some nice reviews. I appreciate that. You should do a Coffee with Ken channel. You know a lot about it too, you know, and you shouldn't be shy about, like, you know, expounding on what you know about the background of the coffees and even the companies. It's pretty interesting. I really liked how you took us through Helotes one time. I never heard of Helotes. I looked it up on Wikipedia. It's pretty interesting, and it's because of you. And I didn't realize it has such a really interesting music background, you know. So yeah, you got a lot of talent for live streaming, man. All right, so this is the same as all the other ones, you know. And these are thin chips, and I can feel the salt on them. All right, this is supposed to be steak. Thank you. It's supposed to be steak. Here we go. That's pretty amazing. It does taste like steak. It's not like a, you know, slap of it. Like, it's not like really coming on strong. But there's definitely a steak flavor there. It's not as strong. Remember a couple of weeks ago, or I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, when I tried that pork one, like a pork steak. I have a swig of this. I mean, that really tasted like a big piece of roast pork. This doesn't taste as strong, but it's definitely steak. What I don't like is when the chips are too big. When you bite them, they crunch up. Oh, it's amazing because I'm kind of a steak connoisseur. Steak and scotch. Actually, if I were to open up a restaurant, that's what it would be: scotch and steak. Now, I tried to mention, that's rosemary. I don't taste any rosemary. Rosemary is very distinctive, very strong. A friend of mine down in Miaoli used to have a cabin, and they planted rosemary in front of the cabin. It was great. And whenever I used to bring my Dutch oven down there and cook on some of the weekends, so I would just grab this rosemary, you know, and just put it in there. It's just normal. medium firmness tofu. There's nothing special about it, and it's all the fermentation process, like making cheese. So there's nothing special. It's not like a stinky tofu, variety. It's just it's got to be. It can't be too soft. It's got to be, it's the medium firmness, and then they deep fry it, and then sometimes they make it into a stew. There's two kinds. I taste something. I don't think the flavor is evenly distributed amongst the chips, because some of these are tasting different. I taste no pepper. Salt, yeah, there's a bunch of it. I can't discern any garlic. Of course, I've been ill. When you're sick. Hoodoos. See how you doing? Oh, I bet they were, though. I believe I answered that question. If that's a bot, moderators have at it. There's nothing special about the tofu they use for sticky tofu. It just can't be too soft. Rob, how are you doing? Fist bump to you too. Should do it this way. We're trying our steak flavor. It literally says steak, Hilife, Coco flavor. So, thank you, I am. You can tell my voice is still not quite there, and I got a little bit of a cough. I showed my card earlier. I went to the doctor. I showed my insurance card. It has a smart chip on it. And he put it in the reader, and he's looking at the computer. He's like, "You've been sick for a month." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm all done with this. I'm ready to go." Tofu is stinky because it's fermented, but it's just regular tofu. Now, you go to the store and you buy a block of tofu. You can cut it up and you can stir fry it, or you can stew it. It's not stinky tofu. You take the same block and you put it in the fermentation brine, or whatever you want to call it, and you let it sit for a couple days. Then it's fermented. But it's the same thing. It's just tofu, So there's no experts around I can ask about it. So yeah, well, in Chinese it's tofu. So if somebody cut a fart and it stinks, you say, "Oh, how tofu," like that. So it's the same word as in English. Stinky tofu is actually a very accurate English translation. Anyway, as I was trying to say, this says Hilife, steak, Coco flavor, steak flavor, potato chips. It's pretty amazing. Direct translation. And you see the steak on it, the piece of it here, but it's well, it depends. We've had this discussion about fermented foods and sticky foods. There are some foods that if you hold them from a distance, the fermented foods, they really, really stink. But if you bring them close, they smell fine. They smell good, and they taste good. But like Limburger cheese, from 10 feet away, oh, it's terrible. But you eat it and it's nice. Well, it depends on your preference, really. Now, I've had sticky tofu on a little blue truck, and I've had it in the night market, and some of them are stinkier than others, and some of them aren't clean. That's the other thing too. Like this truck out here, Dave wanted me, when Dave was here, Dave said, "We're going to get some sticky tofu from the truck." And I told him, my wife told me, she told us, because she was riding around with us, my wife's sister got sticky tofu off that truck. She said it wasn't like some people think kimchi stinks. I love kimchi. As this, it can just permeate, you know. But I've had some absolutely vile sticky tofu, and I've had some in a fine restaurant too, and it was prepared beautifully, and it was in a nice stew. But I had a friend from Texas recently visit me, and I took him to the new Coco night market. I gotta take you guys. It's like a backwater little. It's like 3 rows, tiny little hometown, you know, $2 mug of beer night market. And he said, I've always wanted to try stinky tofu. And I said, okay, there's basically 2 kinds. There's the deep fried kind. The deep fried kind is not as stinky, and when they fry it, you know, the outside gets a little bit crispy, but it's still soft on the inside, but it kind of hides the flavor. And they always serve it with a kind of like a kimchi, pickled vegetables. Well, they got the other kind, the stewed kind, that comes in a soup, and it's very spicy. And he says, that's the one I want. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. Boy, this guy manned up. He brought it over the table. And I'm with my wife and Phoenix, you know, my daughter. And my wife's eating, and she's looking at Jason. He's got this bowl of stinky tofu with this red-colored soup. It's so spicy hot. Actually, he said to me, he said, can you ask the boss to add extra spice? I said, sure. So I asked the boss, I said, he wants extra spice. And the boss is like, are you sure? I said, yeah. Yeah. He says, okay. So he put extra spice in. So it's like double hot. And he's wolfing. He's like, so I'm like, how do you like it? He goes, man, this is good. He ate the whole thing. And my wife's looking at him like, you never been to Taiwan before? So that guy's a culinary adventure. Talk about, you know, the food ranger. This guy's like a I can't even think of what, I mean, he's like thinking of the food ranger. This guy's like a stormtrooper. He's a food stormtrooper or something. I don't know, but man, oh man. Guy's like a food Navy SEAL or something. I mean, and I've never seen that. And if you know something, I've never ate that. I haven't. Because I don't like the way it smells. The stinky tofu itself is good. Sometimes my wife gets it from the night market. And they'll have it on a little grill with aluminum foil. Comes in a long tray, so yeah, that'd be good. Hey Ken, do you think that's a product I should make? Hot sauce holster, what do you think? I can do it, you know. Do it easy. For people who are serious about their hot sauce. There are people that take it with them, right? I mean, there are people that are serious about hot sauce. And they take a bottle with them, so if you had a little hot sauce holster, I think it'd be pretty cool. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't. I do not make stinky tofu at all. I don't know how. I mean, the thing of it is, it's a controlled process. Ken, it's a great idea, but I just spilled the beans. By the time I get done with this broadcast, somebody's going to trademark and register the domain. Yep. Anyway, it's a controlled process. Whenever you're fermenting things, you have to be very careful. Okay. Sorry, Rob. See you on the replay. Anything that's fermented, you got to be careful. Like bacon. Bacon is a race against time. Yeah, me too. Now, I do have a hobby. My hobby is to try mapo tofu. Every place I can try it. Around Asia, around the world. You know, wherever I've been. Oh, really? You mean like the supermarket? Not the kind that you're thinking of. Yeah, that's right. They bring it, yeah. Dean, oh my goodness, nice to see you. It's been a long time. Hey Dean, I need to be in. Dean, can you send me a line message? I need to talk to you about Bootsy barbecue sauce, by the way. So they're coming back online. But nice to see you. Always a pleasure. It's been a long time, and we've missed your input in the late night group. To answer a gentleman's question, in the markets, you can get like a jar of. It's not really stinky tofu. I was talking to my wife about this. Okay, thank you. It's called I call it old tofu, like lao tofu, and it's really. I mean, it's. I got a jar once in my youth, you know, like 40 years ago, and I never got it again. It's terrible. It was like, I don't know, caulk or something. It was terrible. It's usually like a night market, certain restaurants, and little food stalls and vendors, you know, like truck. There's a truck over tonight. The duck truck is over here, but every other night the stinky tofu truck's over there, and I would eat it, but my wife's sister said it wasn't clean here. Now, going way back, when I was 19, I worked in a Chinese restaurant, and it was funny because that restaurant was called the Peking Restaurant in Greensboro, North Carolina, and in 1976, it was one of, they told me it was in Playboy magazine's top 10 restaurants in the United States. Not top 10 Chinese restaurants, top 10 restaurants. So out of all the restaurants in the United States, that particular Chinese restaurant was in Playboy magazine. It's amazing. Really nice restaurant. And yeah, it is street food, definitely. And the chefs taught me how to use the Chinese cleaver and cut everything. I was the food prep guy. I did all the food preparation, and I was busy, you know, working. Like it was my responsibility to keep the walk-in cooler stocked. I'd go and say, oh, we need carrots. I'd cut them. We need onions. I'd cut them. We need broccoli. I'd cut them. And just took care of it, right? So I'm walking around. I keep smelling this smell. Yeah, I understand. Nobody reads it. So I kept smelling this smell. And it was coming from my table, and I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is bad. Maybe some juice from the meat that I was cutting had dripped down into the knife drawer and it's putrefied. I need to clean this up. This is bad. And I open the knife drawer and it's spotless. It's just like I left it. It's super clean. All the knives are clean. You know, the stainless steel drawer is clean. I'm like, what? Where is this smell coming from? And the only thing down there is the rice cooker. They had the rice cooker underneath, you know, on the bottom shelf of the table where I, you know, have the cutting boards and everything. It's all stainless steel. Everything's clean. This restaurant actually was very, 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 very clean. And everybody jokes about Chinese restaurants. They were meticulous about being clean. So I finally realized, look down here, and the top is rattling and steam's coming out. You know, the stink is coming from this rice cooker. And the other chefs, they're all from China, and some of them knew some other dialects, and they're, besides Mandarin, they're talking in Mandarin, so I can't understand them. And I'm like, you know, oh, hao chou, someone's a hao chou. I'm like, it's really stinks. There's that word again, to, like tofu, right? Yeah, so what stinks? And they're laughing. And so what it was is, we had a new chef come in from some remote part of China. Don't even remember where. And the great part about working at that restaurant was every couple of months a new chef would come in and he would bring all these flavors and recipes from their part of China. And I got to experience, as a 19-year-old man, I got to experience like this cuisine that I would never otherwise be exposed to. That's why I like flavors so much, and I'm into flavors. And that's why I love to talk about and describe flavors, you know, because I've been exposed to all this stuff at an early age. So anyway, at the end of the day, you know, the work day, it's the evening, and we're cleaning up and everything, and the chef's preparing the food, because, you know, in the restaurant we all eat together at the end. There's a big Lazy Susan round table, Lazy Susan, and I see this weird dish, and I realize, oh, That's what it is. Oh my goodness. It's carp. It's a fish. It's rotten fish. I'm saying, oh my gosh, they're serving me rotten fish. So the new guy, I can see his face. I can't think of his name. Says to me in English, that's Chinese cheese. Now, I know what he meant because cheese is fermented, right? Makes perfect sense. So now imagine round table and a round Lazy Susan. I'm sitting over here and the rotten fish is over there. So yes, we have almost everything Japanese here in Taiwan. So the different workers in the restaurant are taking some of the food and they're pushing the Lazy Susan. Okay, so this thing, as you can imagine, is coming around the table closer and closer and closer to me. Yeah, probably, which is hard to do because when one breaks down and does those cleaning days, what I got to do is I'll take a shot of that for the late night group. And let me stop here. I'm going to finish the story in a second. Dun-dun, dun-dun. The stinky fish is on its way over to MJ, and MJ is about to take a bite of it. We'll be right back. If you would like to join the late night group, please go to taiwanlive.tv right up here. Use the menu, pull down the late night group, put code. If you use the Line app, L-I-N-E, it's all throughout Asia, and just America has recently discovered it. There is a late night Line group, and we would love to have you join us. It's a nice group of people, like-minded people. It's mostly my followers, but we follow each other, and all your favorite live streamers are there. All of them. Trust me. So, it's okay. What would the show be without viewers and viewer comments? This is a live streaming, man. So it's coming towards me, right? And everybody's eating, and all of a sudden they see that it's in front of me, and it's like I see this. They're looking at me. They want to know what I'm going to do. Come on, man. I got to save face here. I got to try some of this. So I take this spoon, I cut a little piece of it, and it's carp, you know, it's got a lot of bones in it. But carp is the favorite Asian food. And I put it in my bowl. I grabbed my chopsticks, and I held it up to my face, you know, because that's how you eat with the bowls, right? And the smell was nothing like it was, you know, from the steamer, you know, at floor level, like, you know, this far away, right? The smell was really aromatic, but complex. And I remember it wasn't like salty, and it did kind of remind me of cheese. Not really, not that often. Yeah, sometimes. And when I actually tasted it, the flavor was wonderful. It was incredible. They use MSG everywhere. MSG is not an issue. It's not a problem. It's just a salt. All the stuff in America about MSG, I think, is wrong. This is my opinion. Yeah, it's all, I mean, of course they use it. MSG basically is a staple in Asian food. It's a flavor enhancer. But salt, generally salt is a flavor enhancer anyway. I mean, I was doing some experiments with friends of mine the other day with chocolate. We put salt on chocolate and it brought the flavor out. It's amazing. So MSG is a flavor enhancer because it's a heavy salt. That's all it is. The flavor of this rotten fish was so incredible that I asked the guy to make it again, and he made it the next week, and it was incredible. But I never got to see how he did it. I missed out on so many things like that, on how to do it. Like, for example, right here in my neighborhood was a guy that called himself Xiao Hei, which means I guess I would translate that in English as Blackie, because he has really dark skin. He's Thai and he spends a lot of time in the sun, and he was dark. Who cares? So Blackie, as he called himself, made this Thai drink that he calls Lao Lao. And I don't speak Thai very well, but fortunately he speaks Chinese, so I asked him about it. It's made from purple rice. And yes, I know they do. But Chinese restaurant syndrome doesn't exist in China. Doesn't exist in Taiwan either. Anyway, so he makes this Lao Lao, and it's dark, but it's actually a little bit sweet, made from purple rice, and it's about maybe 10-12% alcohol. What a fantastic, wonderful drink. And so I told, Xiao Hei, I asked him, I said, can you show me how to make this? He said, sure. I said, I'll tell you what, the next batch you make, I'll finance it. I'll buy all the materials. I just want to see you make it. Sure. Nothing ever happened. And he went back to Thailand. All the Thai people are going back to Thailand. All I got around here is Vietnamese. They don't know how to do anything except smoke, drink, and leave the door open. But Dean, that dish exists here in Taiwan. And I even saw a reference to it in Chinese. I was surprised because I read it in Chinese. I was surprised. I said, that actually says General Tso's chicken. I was like, wow. There's a buffet that my family goes to. Tell you what I'm going to do. Next time I go, we go about every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to take a picture of some of the food items there and post them in the late night group, because they have, if you like that General Tso's chicken, Dean, I got to take you to this little buffet. You can stuff your face for like $7 or $6. It's ridiculous. Fresh vegetables. There must be, I counted one time, I think there's 45 or 50 different individual dishes of vegetables and meats, fish, eggs, sausage, and amazing. No, it's not. I actually entertained the idea, I think it's too late, of writing a book called The History of Chinese Food in America, because I used to know a lot about it. It started with the railroad, when all the Chinese labor was imported into California, San Francisco area, to start the railroad to work, from west to east. And the problem is well, most of the people were from the Canton area, right? They do. And they speak Cantonese, which is different than Mandarin, so some of the words are different. But they would, not having the vegetables that they had in China, they would just take the local vegetables and cook them the same way. And the words are all mixed up. Like you say in English, chow mein. Well, chow mein is fried noodles. Like we would in American restaurants, they call that lo mein. But that would be chow mein in Chinese. And lo mein, I'm not really sure where that came from. I think it's the type of noodles, but anyway. So the Cantonese just call this chow because it's a word that means like fried, like with a wok. And so some of the American people tried it and they liked it, but actually the funny thing is when I was working at the restaurant and I was 19 years old, of course that wasn't in the railroad days, but then when I was 19 years old, by the way, I forgot to mention, this restaurant was owned by Taiwanese, and these are Taiwanese people, but they, of course, they would hire chefs from China and stuff. This is quite a number of years ago. They used to call that, like chicken chow mein and stuff, they would call it pig food. They would call it pig food in English, and pig food in Chinese. And it's just because they didn't really think it was, you know, it was like a, we could get all those here in Taiwan. They didn't think it was really like authentic food. So, but a lot of things are like that, you know. The local people come here and they make the food with the stuff that they can get here, you know. So, it might have been, but the dish that is very, very similar here, enough that a person would identify with it, has been here for centuries. So I don't know. There's another dish that people relate to in America, Kung Pao chicken, right? See that all the time. And they call it Kung Pao Ji Ting. And it looks exactly the same. And sometimes it's even loaded down with more peppers than I used to get in New England when I would go to a Chinese restaurant. It's amazing. I wish I had the time to write a book about Chinese food and the history in North America. It'd be interesting, or the United States. But I don't have time. I'm writing an album. I'm recording an album. That's more important. So, yep. And the cool thing is, a lot of these buffet restaurants, you can get Kung Pao chicken. And my wife likes it. It has peanuts in it here too. Sometimes it looks a little different. Another thing they have is hot and sour soup. But for me, I don't like to eat blood. I don't eat blood. So you got to be careful because the traditional, yes, but you can get it with other meats too. You can get beef and pork if you want to. Hot and sour soup traditionally. Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool. Hot and sour soup traditionally has blood in it. Blood cakes. I don't eat that. So I always got to ask them. And it might have duck or it might have pig. So you got to, you know. So sometimes you'll ask, does it have duck blood? Oh, no. And then you get it and you go, it's got blood in it. Yeah. Well, I asked you to have duck blood. Well, yeah, but that's pig blood. Oh, okay. So I just have to ask, does that have blood in it? But a lot of the restaurants that prepare the food that's going to like sit in the pot for a couple hours, you know, as they serve it, like they make a big giant pot of it. They don't put the blood in because it actually like stinks. It starts breaking down. It's gross. Ugh. So there are places that there's one dumpling restaurant that I go to that has absolutely fantastic hot and sour soup, no blood in it, and it looks identical almost to the kind of hot and sour soup that you would get in a Chinese restaurant in North America. But here's the interesting thing. That yellow mustard. Okay. Gene, I'm in the Hilife store. It's recently been remodeled. It's across the street, across that road, and there's Win-Win's Place. Win-Win's Place, the Jargar store, and then Win-Win's Fried Chicken Place, and next to it, a Win-Win's Place. So it's the same old neighborhood. I just came over here to pay some parking tickets. I don't mean like violations. I mean just parking charges. We talked about this before. I can show you that, but there are a number of dishes that they have here that, if you guys are familiar with those dishes in North America, you would love it here. Now I want to talk about two things: fried rice and then mustard. That yellow mustard that they serve, I've only ever seen that 2 times in Asia. Only seen it 2 times. Wasabi is a lot more common. I like that mustard because it gives what we call the Chong Beats way down, but so it won't have it in America. If you no, you would know it. It's because it's big chunks. American restaurants don't make it with blood in it. Only in Asia. Now, I'm going to cover up my license plate, but this is wasabi's great. I love wasabi too. Welcome to you on AKA Gopher Hawk. Welcome on Periscope. This is a Taiwanese parking ticket. Now, it's not a violation. This is a plasticized. It's not paper. It's plastic. They don't have parking meters. It's great because you don't have to collect the money. You don't have to like build the infrastructure. They give a person a motor scooter and like a safety vest, and they have a yes. Hey, nice to have you with us. Welcome to Taiwan from Minnesota. Thank you. And they give them a cool machine with a GPS on it and a camera and a printer, and they input your car license plate, spits this thing out, they put it on your windshield, and they come by periodically and put a stamp on it. Now, this says 20 and 40. Okay, 30 right now, currently 31 NT is $1 US. So, these are in increments of 1 hour. So it started out at 16:57, which is it's like 3 minutes before 5 p.m. Then 17:58, 18:58, 19:58. So the guy comes around, or lady comes around every hour. So it's about 70 cents an hour to park on the street. And this was in Hsinchu City. And here's another one. Again, it's 10:23 in the morning, then 11:24, 12:24, 13:24. So the card is the thing is printed based on the time that you arrive, and it's basically you could stay from 10 in the morning until 9 at night, and it's 240 NT, and so that's going to be about $8. I mean, Taiwan is a place where things make sense. So I can pay this at 7-Eleven, Hilife, Family Mart, any of the convenience stores anywhere in Taiwan. And I can even be late on it. It's a great price. It has an issue date and a pay by date, right? And if you're late with the pay date, which I was on these, I just went over to the machine. Of course, you have to be able to read Chinese, but I went over to the machine and I plugged these in. I mean, you know, plug my number in, and I was able to print a printout. These are past due, so I can't pay them over there. They click on it, it'll go beep, past due. So I printed out the past due ones and paid it. But Taiwan is a place where, you know, taxes make sense, salaries make sense, rents make sense. Rents are dirt cheap here. It's amazing. But everybody's rich. This is the richest country I've ever been in. I hear you. My wife and I went to the States in 2010. We're in Boston, and I wanted to take her over to I forget, it's been a long time since I lived there, over by Government Center anyway. So I took her to one of the market areas, and we parked for an hour, and it's $20. She's like, that's 600 NT. I go, yeah. She said, 600 NT, I could park for 2 weeks. Yeah, well, you ain't in Taiwan here. Now I said, okay, you guys are going to have to remind me. I said I want to talk about, fried rice. When I worked in a Chinese restaurant, we would make rice, you know, just regular rice in the rice cooker. And people don't eat rice in the States like they do in Asia. I know. It's probably more than that. That was in 2010. People don't eat rice in the States like they eat in Asia. You know, everything is with rice. Everything's rice bowls, rice. But see, rice is the meal and everything else is like a condiment that goes with it. So there's rice left over. And they would take the old leftover rice, put it in a wok with Gravy Master and or soy sauce to make it dark, which I don't know why, and a bunch of oil and kind of revitalize it and make fried rice. And that's how they recycled the old rice. So MJ doesn't order fried rice in a Chinese restaurant unless MJ asks them in Chinese to make it fresh. Taiwan, fried rice is not dark. They don't add coloration to it. It's amazing. It's actually like a big bowl of fresh steamed rice, wok fried, really quick, with fresh vegetables. It's incredible. Just the right amount of salt, not too much, and the oil is light. Doesn't stick. Oh, it's amazing. So I have many pictures of fried rice, and if you would like, I would be more than happy to share that with you in the late night group. But I got to tell you, fried rice is a lot different here, and so I first started speaking Chinese when I was 19. Yep, I was 19. The first language I started playing around with was Korean, and I was about 18, and I was hanging out with a Korean guy and his family, and I actually ended up staying with them for a couple of months. They were really, really nice. They invited me to live with them. It's kind of a loner. Even when I was 18, I was kind of a loner. And then I met some guys from Taiwan at that restaurant actually, and befriended these guys. They're really friendly, really cool, and started hanging out. And one thing led to another. The boss of the restaurant asked me would I be interested in doing some work there. It's before I went on the road playing music, and I ended up working there, and they taught me all the knife skills. Even to this day, my wife will tell you, although she doesn't like to admit it, I mean, I can take with a Chinese cleaver, I could take a slice of bread and slice it in half. I mean, I'm a kung fu master with a Chinese cleaver still to this day. Like the funny thing is, we went camping and all the time when these ladies were cooking, right? So, good question. And so they want to cook some green peppers, so I showed them how we cut the green peppers, you know, and cut the tops off and take the seeds out and stuff, and they were astonished. I said, well, I learned that in a Chinese restaurant when I was, 40 years ago. So there's a YouTube video interview that John Ho did with me and a man named Tony Lin. I came to Taiwan to make money, and I ended up falling in love with the country. I mean, I first set foot here in the year 2000, 19 years ago. I've been living here for 15 years, and national health care. I honestly couldn't afford to live back in the States because I need to see a doctor every month. I need medicine. There's no health care. It's the greatest country in the world, and there's no functioning health care system. All they did was make another tax. This Obamacare stuff, no wonder the current president wanted to kill it. It's just another tax. It doesn't really do anything. So I go see a doctor. I give him what we call the Jimbao card, the National Health Insurance card. I see a cardiologist. It costs 200 NT for the doctor visit. That's $6, folks. I pay 140 NT for the money. I mean, for the medicine. Okay, so divide that by 30. Okay, well that's not bad considering. That's not bad. However, when you look at the replay, they're actually concurrent with the Periscope broadcast, which is weird. I know what you're saying, but usually you hit it as, anyway. I'm not looking at the preview. I'm looking at the comment burns, so I don't answer the comments before they show up. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the full screen. And so, yeah, so it's like $6 for the doctor visit and like $4.50. Hey Ken, oh sorry, you're saying hello T. For for the medicine, and I do that every month, and that would be hundreds of dollars in the States. I mean, the other thing I like about Taiwan with medicine is that I don't need a referral. When I had a back issue, I had to go to a general practitioner. That's $100-something bucks for him to give me a referral to an orthopedic doctor. Here in Taiwan, I can sit in the comfort of my own home in my pajamas. I can go to the Mackay or Cathay Hospital website. I can register to see an orthopedic surgeon if I want to. And it's like $6. And I go there and I explain my problem, just like when I have my operation on my thumb. If you go to my blog, thenhbushman.com, and you search on my aching thumb, you'll find an article about surgery, and the doctor actually gave me a surgical photo for my blog. The thumb is open. It's gross, but the retractor's holding it open, and the thing that they took out, the operation was $10. No. Yeah, the operation was $10. And I didn't need any pain medicine because it didn't hurt. The doctor's skill was so high, I had no pain, no post-operative pain at all. None. Didn't even take a single pain pill. Didn't feel it. It's amazing. So I had symptoms of a detached retina. I went to the emergency room. They said, okay, the optometrist will be in at 9. We'll register you in. I saw the lady. She put the drops in, used the slit lamp. She said, okay, yep, everything seems all right, but any problems, come back. It was Friday. I came back Monday, had more issues. She said, okay, I see a little bit of an abrasion. We should treat that with a laser. So I said, okay, why don't you schedule an appointment from me, and just tell me when it is. Thinking like I'm still in the States. She took me by the hand, took me next door to the laser room, and did it herself right there on the spot. $10. That's why I'm living in Taiwan. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't anybody live here? I mean, the food is off the charts, guys. I mean, you've been watching my broadcast, so I lost all my weight here, just fasting and taking care of myself. But things that make sense, It is amazing. It is amazing. Now, here's the thing. I want to ask you guys a question. Coco, how you doing? Coco, we sure miss you. Nice to have you with us. I thought you got hacked. I sent you a DM on Twitter, but I didn't make contact with you yet. Anyway, contact me. I just want to know if you need another invitation to come back to the line group, or can you find us? But we appreciate it. Nice to have you with us. Always a pleasure to see you. And so, Coco, we've been talking about different things in foods, and people asking me some questions about Taiwan, which is typical what I do. But anyway, Coco, I'm so excited to see you. I forgot what I was talking about. Coco is back. Yeah, I'm telling you, Coco's back. All right. So there you go. Yep. When people leave a group in line on Android, it's different on if you're viewing on iOS, it's different. On Android, if they log out or change their account or something, it says unknown left. And it took me a little while to figure out who it was. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe you change phones or something or whatever. Anyway. because my sister did that. My sister changed phones, and she had to log in on her new phone, and it killed her other account. And so all of a sudden it said unknown left the group. Okay, so that's on Android anyway. So okay, somebody remind me, please. What were we talking about? It's so great to be back. I've been sick for a month. I feel so bad. I've been neglecting everyone, and it's just, you guys, man, it's like big hug. How about this? Big hug. It's just, anyway, I gotta go back in the studio because I owe iVideo.com. No, that's okay. You never distract. iVideo.com. I owe .tw. I owe these guys a review of their 4G based, their mobile based home Wi-Fi router. It works great. I got the pictures. I'm all ready to do it. I just been too sick. I just came on, I don't know, 10 days ago or something. I usually stream on Thursday and Sunday. That's kind of been the routine that I've fallen into, and I've just been skipping them. So tonight I felt pretty good, and I decided that I would come on. I had to go here to the Hilife to pay some of those parking tickets, and I just decided to come on and say hi. I'm really sorry, but the bad news is I haven't been able to actually do any vocal tracks, and yeah, so I'm behind on my production schedule, but I should be able to catch up because, you know, I got everything I need. I just need to, you know. So I have a new digital recording console, and I'm working with an absolute genius programmer. We're working on an automation system for the console because it has moving fader. So we'll be able to do moving fader automation, complete control over all of the mixing parameters. So actually, this is bizarre. I mean, I've got a Soundcraft Ghost 32 channel and a Behringer X32 in my upstairs studio in my house. And you know, with the Tascam DB32 and Reaper, I mean, I am getting sounds that rival anything I ever did in the 80s and the 90s. All those records I did, those, I don't know, 50 albums, 500 mixes, who knows? I mean, for years and years on 24 track 2-inch. This stuff that we're doing now is just so incredible. And the bad news is I'm in my 60s. I wish I was in my 30s again so I could start over, but we didn't have this stuff. But I'm getting ready to pick up. Yamaha just came out with a new, it's about this big, a little bit bigger, a new drum kit called the DD75. It's like 220 bucks or something. It's dirt cheap. Full MIDI control, 8 pads, 2 pedals. It's incredible. I've been looking for, you know, ways to do pads, you know, to program my drums, and I went and bought one of those little roll-up things. Have you guys seen those? Those little roll-up, those little flat little, you've seen those things, the little drum kits? They're amazing. They're about 35, 40 bucks. Well, I saw one of them in the store, and I said, yeah, what is that thing? Is it a toy? And I read up on it, and it has MIDI through USB. So I bought one, and I hooked it up, and sure enough, the thing's got MIDI on it. So I used my my MIDI patch bay, and I connected it to my Roland DR880, my old, you know, vintage Roland drum machine, and I'm going pow, 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 on this little roll-up piece of neoprene rubber, all these pads, and it's triggering my drum machine, and I was able to program a drum track for a tune. It's like, what do they think I'm next? But this Yamaha one is better because you can change MIDI notes, so you can program each pad to trigger whatever kind of an instrument, you know, that you need. Because the thing is most of the drum pads have 3 toms, but my Roland drum machine has 4 toms. They have what they call 2 racks and 2 floors, right? 2 racks and 2 floors. And so if you got a drum pad that's missing it, it doesn't map correctly. And the little MIDI thing that I have, you can't remap the pads. So I only got, believe it or not, tom 1 and tom 4. So it's like doom and doom. So there's no dun in the middle. So it's a little bit of a problem. the DD75 is going to solve that. So I'm so itching to finish. I got a tune that it's going to be my first one. I've decided which one I'm going to release first, and I'm very psyched to get it finished. And you guys haven't heard it. So anyway, and I've got tunes in the can already to follow it up with. So it's my intention to release a new song every 6 to 8 weeks until I can't do it anymore. Stunned silence. This might be good. I find that if I give lectures on a topic, like I used to give like lectures at ham radio clubs about radio topics, there'd be very few questions at the end. But I think that means I explained it. So, well, thanks, Ken. Thank you. Yep, and I got another tune that the problem is, as a writer and a guitar player, sometimes use the same keys, So I got 2 songs in G, so I can't release them back to back. I can't make one the A side and the B side. But so anyway, my first song is called "I Really Want to Know," and the other song I believe I'm going to mix. Going to release is called "Get Up." Gotta get up. And the other one that's in G is called "Do You Believe Me?" And I'm going to release that a little bit further down. But I'm at the point where I'm going to start asking a few of my friends. Sorry about this shaking. Asking a few of my friends to perform, because I am a solo artist. I do everything myself. But Tony Vaughn's going to play bass for me, so that's okay. It's a talk show, so you can turn the video off, and it's the same thing. I could put my radio voice on for you if you wanted to make it sound better. So we get 90.5 FM with Bobby Caldwell. What you won't do for love here. Yeah, so well, I haven't gone FM on you guys in a long time. I need that new large diaphragm condenser 2 preamp mic to do that FM sound. Yeah, 94.5 FM. I told you guys about that in Thailand, right? It's all on my blog. I haven't updated my blog in a long time because I've been live streaming. But back, I'm going to say, got stuff here in my cheeks. And, my gosh, my hair, I got to get it cut again. Why am I complaining? I got hair. I got to complain about I got to complain about my hair. I got it. I got some. I was at a party. I was in Konkan. There's a place called Tamarind Residences in Konkan. You can look them up on Google Maps. And the owner, her name is Tammy. She has an unpronounceable surname because she's Thai. It's like this long. PhD in business administration. Real smart lady. And I used to go there a lot. I got to know her through my Thai attorney named Mr. Bancho in Thailand. And Tammy opened this place called the Tamarind Residences. It was the residential hotel. It's a really nice place. Some people actually live there, and others just rent it. So I told her, whenever I was going there. Oh, thanks, Ken. You take care. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. And I would tell her, I'm coming, and we gotta have a party. So have this big party in the parking lot, maybe 20 or 30 people, and guitars, PA system, we'd be singing and stuff. And there's always there's one Thai police officer who's always boogieing down, man. He had his cap on. So I was. This story is on my blog. If you go to the NH, that's THE, the NH for New Hampshire, bushman.com, and you look up Thailand DJ, you'll find it. That's back when I had long hair. So Tammy, the owner of the Tamarind Residence, that's her nickname, Tamarind. She said, I want you to meet, and I forget his name, gosh, this is 2006, and I was drinking. He's the owner of a radio station, And I said, really? That's cool. And so I used to do a lot of radio because I had a national talk show, in the 90s. You guys know that. So I got my guitar, and I said, well, what's the name of your station? And he called it 90.5 More, M-O-R-E. And their thing was like, more music, more songs, more, whatever you want, whatever they're promoting, more shopping, more vacation, whatever it is. So I would be playing these songs, going, and I go like 90.5 FM, more, like this, and just goofing around, doing like little bumpers, goofing around. So I told Tammy, I said, because this guy doesn't speak English, and my Thai stinks. So and Tammy is fluent in English, and she's from Thailand. So I said, I would love sometime I'd love to do an hour on their radio station. I haven't been on radio for a while. I really love it. And so I'm just goofing around, I'm playing. And she's telling him this in Thai, and I'm just playing some songs, and then he's on his phone and stuff. And then he hangs up the phone, and he says, come on, let's go. I'm like, what? He says, we're going to go to the station. I'm going, not now, man. I've had half a bottle of Sangsong Thai, Royal Thai rum. So he said, oh, come on. So what he was doing was, he was telling the station to prepare a bunch of bumpers for me. And you guys know what bumpers are because you've seen my other show. And Coco and many others like Rob have done bumpers for me. So I get to the studio, and they've got a sheet like this long of about 30 things on it that they want me to read. More music, 90.5 FM, Can, this kind of stuff. And I did it, man. I mean, I gave them the real, I nailed it. I think, I know for a fact that I'm the only Western professional that's ever been in there, but I think I'm the only person that was actually a professional entertainer and professionally in the radio business before. Everybody that works at the station was kind of grown up there, if you know what I'm saying. So they said, we're gonna take you in the control room now. I said, no problem. So they sat down, and they go, well, this is. I said, get out of the way. I know everything on here. I said, I'm completely familiar with this console and this software. They're like, okay. I said, and this is Sebastian, and Sebastian is Thai, but he went to college in Colorado, and he has an accent like me, speaks English like me. I said, we don't need anybody. You guys can, you can do what you want, but I don't need you in here. You can split. They said, okay, we're going to go outside and we're going to listen in the studio, and you and Sebastian can run the show. So I did 2 hours. We took phone calls and stuff, and I was expecting like a Gentner digital hybrid. No. They had a small little phone with a speakerphone. So when we got a call, we went, put on speakerphone, hi, 90.5 FM, you're on the air. And held it up to the microphone so the person could hear, so the audience could hear what the person was saying. Yes, okay, very good. So it was really funny. And with Sebastian translating, it was one of the most wonderful experiences that I've ever had. It was really incredible. So then they turned on the webcam on MSN. And so then we started getting MSN chat messages in, and they're commenting on, oh yeah, you look like Santa Claus, you had a beard, so you have long hair. Okay, whatever. So it was fun. And so after that, then I was going to leave the next day, and I was going to come back in about 6 weeks. So Sebastian and the gentleman who's the owner of the station who doesn't speak English, they started talking, and they came over to me and they said, when are you coming back to Thailand? I said, I'm coming back up in 6 weeks, and I'm on this date and this date. And how long are you going to stay for? I'm going to stay for 1 month. They said, well, we want you to do some shows while you're in Thailand. And I said, okay, what do you want me to do? They said, we want you to introduce us to retro English-based music. I said, no problem. So that's what happened. I went back to Thailand. I brought, back in those days, discs, of MP3s, and I just said, load all of these into your software, so when I'm in the control room, I can pull them up. And man, it was very cool. I was playing like "She's a Beauty" by The Tube. I played that song that I was talking about, "What You Won't Do for Love" by Bobby Caldwell. I played that too. It's fantastic. There is, let me find it. I will post it in a late night group. There is an existing YouTube video of me on the air in Concan doing that show. I will post it in a late night group. Don't hold it against me. I got really long hair. It's like down to here and a beard, okay? But it's me, and you'll be able to tell it's me. And a lady called up, and I feel bad because she wanted to hear American Pie, but we didn't have American Pie. But I said, how about this? I'll play you a nice slow love song. And I played, Bobby Caldwell. I can only play what I've got, so that's cool. And so, yeah, that was fun. And I haven't been on the air since then, but live streaming has been a good outlet. You know what they say? You could take the old guy, out of radio, but you can't take the radio out of the old guy, right? I mean, that's why I'm doing more recording and stuff. I was a record producer and recording engineer in Boston, in the 80s and 90s. You just can't all of a sudden forget that you do it. And so, as long as I can, and I mean, look at Brian May and Roger Taylor still doing it, right? Why not? I'm 10 years younger than them. Well, 8 years anyway. So yeah, how long have we been on? There's no elapsed time. That's the one thing that I don't really like about using the Streamlabs app, is I can't look at it and tell how long I've been on the air, but it's a long time. So I think, oh yeah, look at that little thing sticking up there. So let me tell you what I did this week. So, well, thank you too. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you viewing, and your viewer loyalty. I really do. And my viewers are precious to me, which is why I was kind of frantic when Coco split. But I gotta tell you, man, I have been so sick. I haven't really been doing much of anything. It's been on my mind to. I think I have Coco's email. I was thinking about it today. I got an email or see what's going on. But Coco and I go way back, so I think if there was something really, really wrong, she would have just told me. Because, I mean, you guys... One thing that I will tell you is I thrive on real, genuine, constructive criticism. You're a butthead. That doesn't help. Name calling doesn't help. But if there's an actual problem, because I got to tell you something, I don't think the only way I can describe this is sometimes I don't see scams because I don't think like a criminal. Do you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I don't see things because I don't think like that, and there may be some offensive comments or something that's going on that I don't notice because I don't think that way. Like I don't have discriminatory tendencies towards different types of people, and so diversity to me is well, come on, look where I live, look at the languages, look at the food. So you know what I'm saying. I don't think about those things, so sometimes I miss things, and I can understand if someone is upset or whatever, but all I'm saying is I thrive on constructive criticism. I enjoy counsel. I enjoy direction and correction. See, discipline is not punishment. It's training. So, anybody who's watching my show, if you think I need to be disciplined in some area, I'm like this. Yeah. Well, John Sabot did a stream on Far East Adventure Travel on Periscope a couple weeks ago, and he recorded it for a podcast, and he invited me to join him and talk. Thailand is notorious for scams. Basically, if you're going to get into a tuk-tuk, which is their local little taxis that are like a motorcycle in the front and like a trailer in the back, you have to get the price up front, because back in the old days, when I had before smartphones, and I still have. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks, Dee. I've had a handheld GPS, and I would take it with me everywhere and just let it run. And I got in a tuk-tuk, and I was going to the BTS, you know, the overhead, the sky train they call it in Bangkok. And I was really upset because I was in a hurry. I didn't say how much first, and I just let my GPS run. And the guy went like this, you know, he went like, okay, to make it look like it was longer. It looked like a snake. I mean, you know, on the GPS, the track that we went, trying to make it look like it was longer. And we get to the place, and it's, you know, he wants 300 baht. It's $10. I gave him 50. You know, that's what it's worth. And I had to fight the guy. You know, I mean, really, literally had to, like, you know. So, get that up front. But here's one of the major ones. And on my blog again, if you go to my blog and you search on Mr. No Change, this is a big one. Some of the Bangkok taxi drivers, they capitalize on the fact that you're in a hurry. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. On the day that you're gonna leave, have everything ready and give yourself an extra hour, whatever you think, because anything can happen. You can have a flat tire, there could be a strike, there could be, who knows, you know, because especially in Thailand, they've had, like, in the last 20 years, they've had 10 coups, you know, so it could be anything. Matter of fact, I was in Thailand once, and I left, and the next day they had a coup. So I couldn't have left it because they sieged the airport for like a month. All I'm saying is this, give yourself extra time. And I was with my wife, had our bags in the back, and we get to the airport. The guy pulls up. It's 250 baht, roughly, which is about, let me see, that's about $8, maybe, like that. Yeah, it's about $8. You see, on the day you're gonna leave, that's not when you wanna, like, do the last minute things. Do the last minute things the day before you leave. The day you leave is sacred. Okay, you can't, you know, you forgot to do something. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do it next time, because we can't mess around on this day. And here's why. I get to the airport. The guy's like 250 baht, $8 or so. I hand him a 500 baht note, and he says, "Oh, I know change." Well, he's lying. So what am I gonna do? Grab it, give me the money, give me my change. You know, what am I gonna do? No, you can't do that. That's wrong. So I said, okay, no problem. I'll go inside and get change. Now, he wasn't expecting that. The only way that can work is if you're with somebody else. But always take change with you, okay? Keep the small money with you. But what I did was I told my wife, and the great part about it is, we have Chinese in common. I just told her, don't say anything, stay in the car, you know. And so as long as she stays in the car, he's not going to leave. And as soon as she gets out, he could split with our luggage. So what I told her in Chinese is, you know, if he takes the luggage out, if he wants to leave, then you can leave. Then he can get out and he can leave. So I went inside the airport and I said, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson. And I looked at my watch and I sat down in a seat. It's an airport. There's thousands of seats. I just sat in a seat and I waited for 10 minutes. If this guy wants to leave, he can leave. But if he wants his money, he's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to pay for it because he tried to scam me. He's a criminal. So, after 10 minutes, I walked over to the money changer and I very politely asked, can you give me change for 500 baht? No problem. Give me the change, gave me coins and everything. And I walked out there and he was still there. I made the guy wait for 15 minutes and I paid him Sawadee Cup. Yep, and he was gone. But I got a picture of him on my mobile phone and it's on my blog and I call him Mr. No Change. There's another scam. And a tuk-tuk driver made the mistake of calling me an old man. Because you know my friends in America call me? They call me the Steven Seagal of Taiwan. I said, old man? I said, come over here. Come over here. I'll show you how old I am. Wouldn't come over. Because I wouldn't take him up on this. A 1 hour, 1 baht an hour. Now 1 baht, okay, is like, well, right now, the Thai baht is about 30 baht for for $1. But back then it was like, it was even, it was like 40. I remember you could get 1,000 baht for $25. If you had $100 US, you could get 4,000 baht, and for 4,000 baht, you could live for a month like a king in Thailand. I mean, with a girlfriend and everything. It's amazing. So, anyway, so there's 1 hour, 1 baht, 1 baht, 1 hour. So what they do is you pay them 1 baht, and they take you all over the city to some place in Timbuktu where there's nothing. Then it's 500 baht for them to take you back. That's how they do it. So if you want an adventure and you're not scared and you got nothing else to do, because Thailand is perfectly safe, guys. There's no like roving gangs or, you know, highwaymen and robbers and stuff. Nobody's going to do anything. They're the most polite, loving, fantastic people. Matter of fact, I was walking down a highway in Kon Kan province, and a guy, he's a tuk-tuk operator, had his wife with him in a tuk-tuk, and he felt sorry for me walking in the hot sun. He pulled over and he said, you know, come in. And so I thought, okay, so it's a tuk-tuk. So I got in. He said, where are you going? I'm going to the Sabua Resort. And I went, he took me there, took me right to the door. And I said, how much? He's like, no money. I said, no, how much? No. He wouldn't take any money for it. Okay. They're the kindest, nicest, politest people. So nobody's going to rob you or anything. So if you're looking for an adventure, yeah, you know what you can do? Do the 1 baht an hour. And after an hour, get out and say, this is really fun. I really Kap kun kap. Thank you in Thai. Sawadee kap, which is a greeting and salutation. And just have the guy go away. And you'll be stuck in some really cool village, and you know what? Bring a little bottle of Thai rum with you. Because what I used to do was, in the Sabua Resort, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so, yeah, that's true. That's true. But they don't, you know, go all in the backwaters either, too. They usually follow a, you know, like a bus, like a route, so it's like hard to go from point to point on those. But yeah, you're right. So here's the thing. I used to go around about 5 o'clock in the evening with a bottle of Sang Som, Thai rum, and a glass. And I would knock on people's doors. And every man, because not with the ladies, because it's improper etiquette, but with the men, I wouldn't say anything. And they would always take a drink, and so I made a lot of friends in that village. And I got invited to a lot of really cool parties. And you know what? I need to do a show on this. I actually have some video. I was at International New Year from 2006 to 2007 in a small village in Thailand, and they put on a big show with firecrackers and stuff. It's not stabilized though. It's you know, like this. And I was drinking. I wasn't drunk, but I was drinking. But there are some I don't have time. I got to edit it, but there are some really, really cool sections of that. Some real, like, village life, Thai stuff, you know. This is a place where they would spin silk. You know, they'd have the cocoons and they would spin silk. My wife and I went up to Laos to a place called Mulberries up in Ponsavan area, where they actually had imported some silkworms from Thailand into Laos to make the silk, and they were dyeing it. They showed us all the natural chemicals and stuff, and that's on my blog too. Really incredible place. But in Kon Kan, in Muang Pwan, in Sabua village, there was a couple of ladies on this one street, and one would be spinning the you know, from the cocoon. They would spin the silk off the cocoon, and then they would take the thread down to the next house where they would use the loom to after they dyed it, of course, where they would weave it. And so several occasions, I would just walk up to the house and I would knock on the door, and I can't really speak Thai that well, but a couple words, and I would indicate that I want to, see the silk, and they would show the silk, and it's just, it's beautiful. My wife and I would buy, believe it or not, like a 1 meter wide by 1 meter, wide by 2 meter long piece of hand woven silk for 700 baht. That's like 23 bucks. Hand woven silk. And I still have some Thai silk shirts. You know what I'm going to do for you guys? I'm going to wear, on one of my next broadcasts, I'm going to wear my favorite Thai silk shirt. It's amazing. You're going to love it. I have to show you that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I wore that on 2 shows I played in Taiwan. I played 2 big stadium shows in Taiwan where with a Thai band that I wore my Thai silk shirt on. So no, it's south. If you look on Google Maps, about 80 kilometers south of Khon Kaen City is a place called Phon, Pon. But it's a small town, so they call it a Muang, so it's Muang Pon. And anyway, if I got GPS coordinates for all this stuff, my friend Bancho, I think I don't really try to, I'm not a big self-promoter, you guys know that. In the late night group, if you want, I can post a couple of those things to get you started on it, but I have a pretty comprehensive series of articles on the resort that my friend Mr. Bancho built there. And the funny thing is years later, they started getting like bookings from Scandinavian countries. And Ben is like, how'd you find out about us? And they said, well, we read some blog. And he's like, well, what is it? So, what can I travel without? Passport. You would love it. You would love it. Can't travel without. Well, gotta have some kind of camera. Gotta document it. In the old days, I would take a video camera, like when I was in Laos, we were elephant trekking, and we went, like to the Plain of Jars and things. Well, Plain of Jars, I didn't. I at one time used to bring an actual video camera, a digital video camera, and a still photography camera, and then after a while, all the DSLRs started shooting video. But I mean, my mobile phone shoots 4K, so oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's really, really nice. Well, here's the thing. I'm married now, obviously, so, how are you? Oh, it's a pleasure. Always nice to see you. I've traveled solo. I traveled, with my wife, and my kid. I had a kid 6 years ago. I'm 63 years old. I got a 6-year-old. It's just crazy. It depends. I mean, I used to enjoy traveling a lot by myself, but when I took my daughter to Bali and just watching her experience everything, and seeing it through her eyes. I like traveling alone, but then I kind of, then I miss my wife. What I used to do was I would go places, and when we were dating, I would go places first, and then she would come later. So, no, it is a good way, but sometimes. Well, I don't know. No, it is. But I did it back before live streaming was even possible with mobile devices. I was blogging. I mean, I've had a blog since 2005. And all the places I went, like China, Hong Kong, and gosh, I didn't document Borneo because I didn't have a blog when I went to Borneo. But there are, all the other places I've been to, and a lot of Thailand and Laos, and so yeah. You gotta have Wi-Fi, but back in those days, I mean, I didn't have smartphones, and when smartphones started getting popular, I mean, I would bring my notebook computer. I would take pictures for my blog. This is like 2006, and I'd go to the hotel and use my notebook computer, and it would take me like 4 or 5 hours just to upload the photos, like to Flickr, because the upload speed was like 0.0 something. It was ridiculous. But I mean these days, I mean, you can go to Antarctica and get 4G, so it's a whole different thing. But now my lifestyle's changed, and I've got a kid in school, so I don't go anywhere like I used to. It's kind of a shame because I did a lot of really interesting things. Like Dave in Osaka streamed the Plane of Jars, right? But I was there in 2010, didn't have live streaming, and so it was really funny because we were on the Plane of Jars. I'm like, I was watching his scope, and I'm like, well, go take a right and go over the hill and look up there. Kind of stuff is really funny, but that's just how it's been. So interesting item of food, huh? Yeah, yeah, you're right. But you know, I was doing live streaming in the 90s, right, with See You See Me. Food, though, I don't know. See, well, we had a Vietnam guy that called himself A Long. Long means dragon. And so it's a common thing here to just put the ah sound in front of whatever your nickname is, right? Ah Joe or whatever. And he raised a little black lab puppy for food. And he butchered it one day. And he invited me down to the local Thai restaurant. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to say something like, don't tell him what kind of meat is in the dish in Chinese in front of somebody that speaks Chinese. So I'm like, Along, you know I understand what you just said, right? Oh. See, the chef was Thai and he's Vietnamese, so they can't, the only thing they can speak in common is Chinese. That's all so I knew it was dog meat. So he brought me out this dish of dog meat, and it was unbelievable. It was delicious. But it was so darn spicy, I couldn't eat the thing. And you guys know I can take some serious spice. You guys have seen me eat, like, you know, raw peppers and stuff. I love spicy food. Too much garlic, too spicy. Those are two things, two words, two phrases that don't exist in my vocabulary. So, anyway. Well, you know, Shackleton, I mean, listen, all those Antarctic explorers, they all butchered the dogs for meat. And the thing about, you know, Shackleton, the movie, good, we would have ate them a long time ago. Yeah, well, okay, well, just don't name it. If you're going to eat it, don't name it. That's what you do. Because John Ho was here, we talking about, you know, eating dogs. So yeah, but don't give it a name. You don't name a cow you're going to eat. It's just you know, and you don't torture. See, that's the thing. I mean, I know they eat them in China, and I know they eat them in Korea, and they torture them. This guy didn't torture the dog. He treated it real nice, and he took it out back, and he humanely dispatched it quickly. So, no, probably not. Probably not. But I'm just telling you that I ate it. So, hope that doesn't change your opinion. But he asked me what's the most unusual thing. That would be it. Dog meat is banned in Taiwan, but it's banned since I've been here. The nickname for it is xiang ro. Ro means meat. Xiang means like aromatic, you know. So it's like good smelling or aromatic. Yeah. And so the reason that well, in Taipei in particular, right? Oh, all right, I'll answer that in a second. Mostly in the Taipei area, a lot of the elderly people ate dog meat because they felt it made them feel warm in the wintertime. I don't know. I think it's just horse feathers, but I'm going to tell you, I think I would live in Taiwan. I just can't think of any other place that I would really, really want to live. There's other places I want to visit, but I really love it here. It just makes sense, and I like the people, you know. And it's what I like about it is it's so diverse, and it's close together. Like you can go to the mountains and the beach in the same day, and you know, 30 kilometers from my house is hot springs. I love hot springs, and you know, I lived in New Hampshire, and I've lived in other places in the United States with great scenic beauty, but also vast distances. I mean, I would have to drive 4 hours, you know, to go camping in New Hampshire. And if I drive 4 hours in Taiwan, I'm going to be in the ocean at the bottom of the island. I can see the whole thing, you know. So on one 60-liter tank of diesel fuel in my van, I can go all the way around the island, and it is unbelievable. I mean, the scenic beauty here is just beyond belief. The first time I came here, I couldn't believe it. Then the second time I came here, we went to the east part of Taiwan, and I remember specifically being at a place that was so beautiful that I was just looking at it. There's these mountains with the clouds running into the mountains and spilling over the edge, and going down. The mountain range was going down into the water, and you could see the mountains going under the water. The water was so clear as it went down, and I was just standing there looking at this. And my friend says, "Oh, me too." My friend says, "Your eyes are wet." I'm like, "Really?" Oh, yeah, I guess they are. What's wrong? Oh, nothing. So like, all right, we're gonna go. I said, okay, just wait a second. I said, what? I said, just wait a second. I gotta say something. What? Computer, say program, end hologram. It just wasn't real. It was so unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, and I wanted to save it. The other thing that people don't know about Taiwan. Now, I have been in Grand Cayman. I've been snorkeling in Grand Cayman. And I've been snorkeling off of Green Island in Taiwan. And they're equally as good. This place is hardcore for diving. And they got whale sharks and huge manta rays